Thanks, Pello, for joining the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast. Stage 9 just finished in the Giro d'Italia. We're on the first rest day of the Giro. First question I want to ask you is, you come out of the Tour de France, you had a really solid third week working for Landa and in breakaways. Was the intention for you to go into this Giro for stage wins or for general classification? And were you expecting to be sitting here on third on GC, just 39 seconds back?
Yeah, I really didn't came here with a clear plan, no? I just came to improvise, to see how the feelings were. It's like experiment for me, no? It's something that I never tried. Yeah, maybe I tried to do a 1 week race like a Dauphiné or Switzerland after the Giro, and I had quite good feelings, good results. But it's completely different to go for such big objectives as a Giro, no? So I came here without pressure. I spoken with the team to come and with a planning like a day by day thinking, not thinking or not putting too much pressure and going easy. And the first week it's been really positive. No, I recovered quite well from the tour. Obviously I'm tired, but I'm feeling quite well, and especially these last 2 days that maybe I was more afraid about how the feelings were going to be, and in the end I could arrive to the first rest day in good condition in the third position also, and for our team is I think a great goal, no, for the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks like to me it's been such a weird season with coronavirus affecting training, races, scheduling, etc. You look at how even like Roglic and Pogacar, they've gone to Liège and Flesh and Worlds. It seems like the riders that did ride the Tour de France in the last, and then have kept racing in the last 2 weeks, even Wout van Aert in Wevelgem, everyone looks like they got really good legs. So it doesn't really seem like the Tour has made riders too tired. But I guess this Giro first week, how does this Giro first week, how is it compared, maybe the level or the watts wise, compared to, say, third week of the Tour? Because it's such a different race. In the Tour, you've got Jumbo-Visma, just control until actually Bahrain-Mclaren. You guys were the only team that really tried to do something different with Caruso and yourself for Landa on that stage. Giro, is it completely the opposite? Like a lack of control, or a Trek kind of and Sunweb kind of doing that?
No, it's a completely different race. No, nothing to do with the Tour. Here we don't have super teams that can control the race. Also, for now, I think nobody wants to take that responsibility of controlling the race. Just Almeida now has this responsibility, and also for them it's important to keep the jersey. So they are always trying to control the race. But when Almeida is not there, we will see what happens now, who's going to control, and which team has the real power to make the difference. No? Because in the Tour, once Van Aert made his pool, just 10 riders, 10, 15 riders were there ready to attack between leaders. No? And now this is not happening, at least until now. No, maybe in the second and in the third week we will find more opportunities to attack. But until now, it's been difficult to try a good moment to attack between leaders. So that's the reason why we are almost everybody in 1 minute and a half.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. Yeah, riders like even Hamilton is like 15th or something. He's only like 2 minutes back compared to the Tour. So I think it's made for more exciting racing. Like that Etna stage was chaos. It was good for the viewers, the Etna stage. Everyone attacking from far out, no one really controlling, etc. Do you think Trek have, on the descents, they seem to be coming to the front and trying to, are they forcing it on the descents, or are they just keeping Nibali safe, or are they actually trying to put pressure on some of those descents? We have seen it, but then they don't really keep it going afterwards. Like, do you know, what are they actually trying to do there? Because it's tough to see that from the audience perspective.
Yeah, it's quite curious, no? their intention in the descents. I can understand in two different ways. One, it's safety. To go first is always safer. No, Nibali goes down always with big confidence. So he puts 2 or 3 guys there, pulling, and they do the descent in their own rhythm, like they want to do. No, and the second part is if something happens, if somebody make a gap, if somebody crashes, they are there. So nobody can tell them, oh, you start pulling when the problem came. No, they can say, we were already pulling. So after the gap was done and we continued pulling. No, so if this moment arrives, they can also make some differences from the descents. No, not just in the climbs. And until now, the climbs, just real climb, we can say that it's been Etna. No, the rest of the climbs were 5, 6, 7% climbs. Difficult to make differences. So maybe they were trying another way to break the race, but it didn't really work until now, at least.
Yeah, and I get what you mean about Etna being the main climb, and I think this next week it's really the Piancavallo stage 15 is going to be the Etna of this next second week before the second rest day, where there's going to be differences. I mean, I was looking at some of the power data of Masnada yesterday. I think he was 12 seconds behind Fulsang at the end, and he was with the GC group. And it's like on Lanciano, like 4.2 watts per kilo, 4.4. So the effect of the draft is so much on these 5% climbs, and that's why I guess like Ghana was able to. I mean, that Ghana stage win was kind of crazy, but still, it is different to this Piancavallo stage we're going to see in this second week. And how do you see this second week playing out? You don't have to tell me your strategy if you don't want to, but is your strategy to follow wheels and try and gain time on the TT because you're probably one of the better time trialists out of the GC contenders? Is that sort of the way you're looking at this second week?
Yeah, more or less. No, I have to survive until the weekend, and I think the real differences can come, especially in the chrono. That we've seen that in the Grand Tours it's the speciality where most differences are done. No, also in the Tour between the big guys of the overall. Really small differences every stage, and in the chrono we arrived and just one rider was able to make a bigger gap than 1 minute just in 33 Ks. No, so that's impressive. Nowadays you have to be really paying special attention to the TTs, and I think also in this Giro is going to be really important. So I think most of the GC guys are waiting for the weekend. We have also the stage in Cesenatico, 200 Ks, but I think it could be a similar stage like we've seen yesterday. No, not really big differences between the GC guys.
Yeah, and the problem with that stage is last climb's not very difficult, like 5Ks, 4% average gradient, and it's like 30Ks from the finish. So can't really see. It just seems like every team is happy to be like breakaway, go, gain 10, 12 minutes, and if it's a quick step, eventually say, okay, well, we'll keep the Maglia Rosa, but otherwise we won't really pace too hard at all. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, maybe if I was Fulsang and I was looking at that third week and maybe it looks like Stelvio is going to happen, the weather forecast looks pretty good for Stelvio. If I was Fulsang, I'd probably be trying to be aggressive on some of these stages that it looks like the Cesenatico stage is kind of like a Paris stage maybe, and try and gain some time on Nibali there. But yeah, do you think that will happen, or do you think these stages 10 and that Cesenatico stage just a little bit too easy for any GC differences?
Yeah, I think it's too easy, especially if you check a bit the teams. No, you need a really, really strong team to push hard and make hard a stage of these characteristics. And I think now in the Giro we don't have such a strong team to make a difference in these kind of stages. So probably most of the riders are going to wait just to the TT. And after the TT effort, in Piancavallos or the steep climb, that can make a real difference.
And how much have you been focusing on your TT personally? I know you won national champs ITT this year. Was it, how big of a focus was it for you? Did you take the like Corona lockdown and focus on your TT, or no more than normal for you this year?
No, not this year. We've worked quite hard in the beginning, especially the beginning of the season. Now, after we start with the races, we are not so focused on going to the track or making tests or. So before we started the season, I was in the wind tunnel. We work in the small details, and after just make a couple of trainings per week and some quality work also with the TT bike, but nothing special. No, it's true that the last 3 years I've been really focusing in the TTs, and for me it was really interesting now and a big motivation to see how it's easy to improve. It's easy. I mean that if you work on that, if you check attention, if you put attention in the small details, there's a really big difference, no? And yeah, as I told you, no, it's really important to work on this. And if you want to be fighting for GCs, it's really important. You have to be there.
And that's what we saw with Lopez. Say he was probably one of the strongest, like pure climbers in the Tour, won Col de la Loze stage. But even if you're like, if you're 2% better climber than somebody, 3% better climber, there's still the draft benefit. We saw that in the first week of the Giro. But if you're 3% better than someone or 1% better in the TT, you get all of that extra benefit in the time. Whereas in the climb, you probably won't even make, they'll probably stay on your wheels. So yeah, we saw, I guess, Lopez, and you can lose a podium spot. And that's why I guess you're in a pretty good position going into this second week, because not only are you already in third behind, I guess, actually, do you consider Almeida a genuine GC threat at this point, given that he did pretty well in the TT, or is everyone more focused on, say, Nibali, Fuglsang, Kelderman, who are like the pre-race favourites?
It's difficult to consider Almeida as a favorite for the final podium, no? But it can happen also. We don't know where he can arrive because he's really young and he doesn't have a previous experience, no? But young guys now are quite surprising and they are achieving a really good level. So I think we need to pay attention also with him. For sure, this week also can hold the Maglia until Piancavallo. And then maybe in the third week, if we can do all the mountain stages, maybe it's going to be too long for him. But for sure, he can finish the Giro in the top 10. And not why. Also, it's the possibility with a really good performance in chrono to be near the podium. No, why not? But for sure, also he personally doesn't know where he can arrive. So I think he thinks like day by day and keeping the Maglia as far as possible.
For you personally, for Bahrain, we've got this third week where the parkour is kind of one day. I think Agnello is already being moved, and maybe they're doing finish in Sestriere. They've got Stelvio. There could be snow, etc. Is it going to suit you more to have those really big monster mountain stages to altitude, or would it be better for you to have, say, Mortirolo put in there instead? For your chances on GC?
I don't especially like climbs that arrive up from 2,000 meters. Are not my specialty, no. But it's true that I like as harder the stage is, it's better for me, no. long stages with 4 or 5 mountain climbs, for me it's better than just one climb in the end. Because I'm really aerobic, and especially now coming from the tour, maybe there are riders that are more fresh than me, so I need to be in the same condition. I need that the stage goes really hard. So in that case, it would be better for me.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I think Nibali is kind of the same as well. I don't see Nibali, he hasn't really done high watts per kilo for, say, 20 minutes in the finale, like even Froome or Thomas has recently. But yeah, he's just got that endurance, and also the calories. Like if Stelvio is cold, the calories required could be crazy. Like how would you prepare for Stelvio if it's like -3 degrees at the top, and with the descent? Yeah, what can you do on the descent? Obviously, you can have a little cold, as much kit on as possible. But what else can you do? And can you eat enough when it's freezing like that? Would you ever train in conditions like that?
No, you never train in that conditions. No, you just find them in the race, and you need to adapt. No, it's really important to have a high energetic food, easy to eat, that you can just maybe take a gel, or also liquid drinks. No, that we have a lot of calories there, so you can keep also eating during the climb, because in almost 1 hour and a half or 2 hour climb, it's impossible to eat something solid, no? So you need to keep eating something or drinking continuously. And then it would be important also maybe to, if you need to lose 30 seconds or 40 in the top, to put all the clothing. It's important also because such a long descent, you can get freezed, and it can happen something like yesterday. Know that we arrived there in the last climb, and just 4Ks to go was a 2 kilometer descent, and you get completely freeze there. We arrived to the last sprint, and the legs were not moving. No, it just was impossible to make a good power sprint. Everybody was doing his best, but it was like the bike was not moving on the road. We were stuck there, and yeah, when you are riding in these temperatures, the body reacts really different, and it's also a dangerous situation. No, when you arrive down, and you can be completely empty in these extreme conditions.
Yeah, I was preparing a video on 1988 Giro d'Italia, the Passo Gavia stage with Andy Hampsten. I'm not sure if you've seen that, where they did the Gavia and it was like snowing on them, and I think like half the field didn't finish. I hope the Stelvio isn't like that, and probably extreme weather protocol these days would mean that the stage would get cancelled. But yeah, that was an insane stage. And yesterday, yeah, as you said, I saw Guerrero, he finished, and immediately he's like trying to put on as many jumpers as possible after the stage finished. But just quickly, I know you got to go. You're a busy man. What, after the Giro, is that season done for you?
Just the Giro, and it's enough, I think.
Yeah.
No, because also preparing for the tour, it's been so hard with the training camps, with the recon camps in the Alps. We are already 3 weeks or 3 months out from home, no? And it's been quite hard to make the decision to come to the Giro. So when I finish the Giro, I will go home and stay there, easy and relax. I think it's gonna be really late to finish the season this year, especially. But we all need holidays already, I think.
Yeah, I'm covering it from Australia, so I'm in the middle now of 50 days straight going to bed at 5 a.m. So yeah, it's been brutal for you guys, and at least it's good. At least there's racing on this year, I guess. I thought there might not have even been any racing on. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're doing so well at the Giro. Thanks, Pello, for joining the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast today. Any last words?
Yeah, thank you. No, just I would like to just say thanks to the team. No, just because they believed in me, also coming from the tour and the way they are working until now, it's makes me proud. No, about our team. So we just will continue working in this way because they really know how to ride, and we will try to go as far as we can.